Hey everyone, welcome back to my podcast. I am your host, Jamila. If you're new to my podcast, welcome. If you've been with me since 2020 through 2023, skip 2021 and 2022, thank you. I just want to say we're going to the top together. Thank you for downloading my podcast episodes, listening to me and my craziness as we go about this thing here called life. So yes, as you all know, like my podcast episodes are super, like just spontaneous and crazy. But I wanted to bring you all something, a topic. Y'all, I was watching the movie with Will Smith in it, okay? And literally something hit me, right? It literally hit me. And I'm like, I finally understand the meaning of separate but equal. Okay, so that's the topic that we're going to be talking about, is separate but equal, and I'm going to be divulging that. So yes, again, welcome to my podcast. If you're new to Ill Equipped, thank you for joining in. I don't know who told you about this podcast, but yes, big shout out to them. Here on Ill Equipped, we don't live by the rules of society, and the meaning of Ill Equipped is not having the preparation that is needed to do what is necessary to get things done. But on this episode and this podcast, we just don't live by the rules of society. So yeah. So anyway, I was watching Hancock, and something just literally came over me as I was watching this movie. And so I'm going to actually share it with you guys. And so I was thinking, at the very ending is always the saddest part, and how he has to leave her in order to gain her power in life, right? And how she's able to survive equally in her own life, but separately away from the person that she's meant to be with. And so this is what I wrote. With each step, she gains her power to life, to keep fighting. With each breath, we live and die as we once were. For you to survive, one must go. You will live on, separate yet equal. Forever is never the end. Right? Like, forever is never the end. And so, yeah, like that is just heavy. Like, being able to understand that it's okay to live, without somebody, whether that's a friend, whether that's family, right? It's okay. We can live our life separate but equal, and that makes us stronger. We gain our strength, we gain our power, right? We found resolution in all of that, right? Through all of that turmoil, through all of that pain, through all of that hurt, we find ourselves again. So, yeah, that's the topic. Well, one of the topics for today. But I just wanted to bring you all that real and raw, right? As I seen it. And of course, I'm not crying now, but as I was watching it, I'm just like, of course, I'm just in tears because, come on, like that movie right there. And you don't expect the ending to get you like that, but every time for me. So, yeah. And so in life, we always say that we have that one person, right? We have our person. And so that's what that movie reminds me of having that one person out there, that is for you, but you just, you can't live with. Right? Like, we're too powerful together. We're too strong together. Like, we will not survive together we will die. Right? And so the meaning behind that, I'm just like separate but equal. Like, forget all the negative, terminology that they use regarding separate but equal. But, think about it just for a second in this way, right? Wow, like how powerful that is, right? To live truly equally but separated. It's amazing. So in life, we try to find like the things that make us whole, right? And the people that make us, who we are. And, sometimes we don't realize that it's better that we are apart than together, right? Like, come on, that's heavy stuff. That's deep. That's self-discovery. And that's acceptance. Just being okay, right? Like, I know when I walk away, you will be okay. Like that to me, it brings me joy. Just the thought of that, And even though this is just a perception, right? Because you can agree or you could disagree, right, with what I'm saying. So, yeah. Again, just for a minute, just think about it in that way. Separate but equal. And if we live and we come together, we won't make it. And so we make that choice and we make that sacrifice to walk away in order to allow one another to be strong. And that is true love, right? That's having someone's back, regardless. And, not thinking about yourself and all your wants and all your needs. And yeah, this may be your person, but is this really what you need? Right? Are we giving this person what they need? Right? So, like, that's deep. Like, that's real. That's raw, right? Man. But we will all hope that, right? That we are being, these people for a person out there. Yeah. Separate but equal from a person. It's deep. And so that brings me to my next point. Yes, I had to pause for a second. I mean, these topics are crazy, but this one's super, super heavy. I had a moment the other day. Again, I got to bring y'all in real and raw. I was at work and I was surrounded by so many people, like from all different, states. People from Canada, Delaware, Philadelphia, Connecticut. I mean, just all over the place. And so I just was like, I am truly able to say that I'm a social butterfly, right? Like, I am able to embrace my environment that I'm in, no matter where I'm at and who I'm with, and I'm able to survive. And I bring that to a point because living separate but equal sometimes requires us to do those very things, right? Is to embrace our environment and be able to survive alone around other people who are different than us. And that's very, very powerful for me as a Black woman, coming from the environment that I have grown up in all my life, and being able to stand on my own, but also not feel like I'm alone, as I spoke about. And if you haven't listened to, but go check it out, Lone Ranger. I'm able to stand alone in concerts, but I also want my family there. I want a family. Like, I don't want to be alone, but being able to live separate but equal, right, from somebody that, or a friend that we may think that is going to be there for the rest of our lives, and that being okay, right? So there is somebody for everybody, but that particular person may not be him or her, right? And so we have to just truly understand that, and coming to terms with that is super, super important for me. So I had definitely had a moment, and I'm like, yo, like, this is confirmation. Like, this is all the confirmation that I needed. Like, I've been knew, like, I was a social butterfly, but like, that was kind of like all the confirmation that I needed for real. It's just like, this is something that I want to do. Like, I really want to surround myself with people that's like doing the same thing that I'm doing, that's like doing podcasts, that's in the, writing books and poetry and, things in that nature, because that's the stuff that I truly love to do, honestly. Like, and so the world is open, like, and that's my message, literally. Like, the world is open. As small as, your city might seem, wherever you're listening to this at right now, your space, who you're surrounded with. Listen, the world is so much bigger than you think. You got to just put yourself out there. You have to literally get out there and, stop thinking about it. And I was just like daydreaming. I was just like so excited to just, be surrounded and meet so many different people, right? And again, it just made me think like, wow, like, I think so small. Like, there's so many people, like, and I couldn't believe, like, it's like there's so many different people on this world, and that just, honestly, it just makes my heart smile, because yeah, there's really people out here. I know I'm so sarcastic, y'all. If y'all been listening to me, listen, y'all know. But there is, y'all. I mean, I knew they was out here, but I mean, I never got to meet them. Damn. I mean, I got to meet some the other day. Shoot, leave me alone. I was happy. Whatever. Let me, I done told my family, I done got it so, like, to the point where I'm moving. That's just, it is what it is. Right. And, sometimes I feel like that's the best for me, right, is to just go, but it's going to work itself out. And so I definitely want to say that, like, the world is definitely big. It's not small. But you got to just let it work itself out. Let it work itself out. And that's a message to myself. And so another topic, I spoke about this just recently to a good friend of mine, and major shout out to Mr. Parker. But, really, really just spoke about how, it's better to embrace people in situations for who they are and what they're presenting themselves as in that moment. Right. And again, like, I'm not perfect. So sometimes, like, my way of thinking is different from other people's. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, thank you for that. Right. And like, I take all messages and heed, whether they're good, bad, ugly. Like, I don't care. Give them to me. Like, and not either, allows me to create a space where I'm like, okay, this is something that I want to participate in, or this is something that I don't want to participate in. This is somebody I want to be around, or, this is somebody I don't want to be around. And so, but him allowing me to hear that message was super important, because I wanted to hear that. I needed to hear that. And this is somebody that I want to be surrounded with. I always say he's a better friend than me, and he really is in so many ways. But being able to embrace people where they're at in certain situations is super, super heavy. Forget that. I know I say heavy a lot, but it is. Like, that's deep, right? Like, because for me, like, I expect the same type of energy that I'm giving, and I'm always genuine. Like, whether it's like a holiday, a birthday, whatever it is, right? But being able to embrace people where they're at is super important, right? And like, I needed to hear that. Like, again, and so I don't ever want to hear something that makes me feel validated to where as though I feel like I can never do any wrong, right? And so I always like to get clarity from somebody that, thinks different than I do. Again, that's why I have different friends in different brackets and, different areas of my life. And I love that. I'm not intimidated by that. Bring it on. Bring the knowledge on. We're going to learn and we're going to grow together. Right? Like, that's how you truly, truly become unstoppable. Right? Because you never allow yourself to be blocked, right? You never allow doors to be shut, right? And if they shut, listen, they only shut for too long because, listen, I'm one to say I am truly an optimistic. And sometimes, listen, being optimistic is saying 1 or 2 doors might close on me, but that's all right. 3 or 4 is going to open, right? And that's how I am. Like, I'm optimistic. I'm a realist too, right? Like 1 or 2, okay, cool. But 3 or 4, all right, let's get it. Like, you're not saying nothing but a word. And so going through those steps, going through that process in life. And so, yes, bringing that all to a point, separate but equal, learning how to kind of be a loner, but still, having your family with you, right? And like, that's okay. Like, that's heavy. Like, again, that's all in like self-discovery in life and what we're all going to experience as we go about this thing called life together. Again, we're going to the top. So if you're just tuning in, thank you. Welcome to my podcast, Ill-Equipped. I'm your host, Jamila. We've been doing this thing since like February 25th, period. Illmatic. And I've just been really just dropping, every Friday with consistency. And again, I appreciate all of my subscribers, all of my listeners for downloading, subscribing to my channel, my YouTube channel, Podbean, Listen Notes, Podchaser, Apple Podcasts, all of that good stuff. Like, yes, like we're really going to the top together. It's all genuine. And so, yeah, like I just love to bring real and raw stuff. And so, again, when I seen that, I was like, hold up, wait, podcast time. I have to do a podcast. And I was like, hold on. Like, I don't want to, like, we could do a whole podcast surrounding Hancock, but I wanted to make sure that I brought that point up because that was like I'm like literally like this is the saddest part, and I always get super super emotional with movies. I like I don't know certain movies. Whatever, I don't care. Judge me, but don't judge me. And if you do, I love you more. But whatever, like I do, and so I'm just like, you know what? This is like it for me. I get it. And so, like, separate but equal became a thing. And now it's a thing, right? If it's your thing, hey, it's our thing. If it's not, cool, it's still a thing. It's my thing, whatever. Can't take that thing away from me. Try it. Ooh. But no, seriously. And there's another point that I want to bring up. It's power, right? The power that you have within yourself, okay? The power that you have, again, within yourself. You have the power to make everything in your life work. You have the power. Never, ever, ever, ever allow anybody to feel like they have any type of power over you in any type of situation. Okay, you have the power. You have the strength. All right. So that's my message to all of my listeners and my subscribers. I hope life is actually treating you really, really well. Seriously, like honestly, like I hope life is like doing the best by you. Seriously, like if you're listening to this podcast, I hope you're in a good headspace. I hope you're in a good space in your life. And if you're not, guess what? Just let me tell you right here, right now, you're going to get there. You're going to get there. Believe me. Like, nothing worth having is easy, right? And that's why, like, here on Ill-Equipped, I just, like, want to bring you all real and raw, right, together. Like, again, we are in this. So, yeah, like, never let anybody stop you from what you want to attain out of life. Again, on all of my podcast episodes, I think I said this more than once, make it yours, make it your baby. You can do it. And so, yes, I think I've been working so hard on my ums and my long pauses. So I've been doing really, really good. Being, I don't know, 29, it feels like I don't know, day to day. I always say, I don't know, I don't feel any older as the years go by, and that's a good thing. So I'm super, super appreciative, super, super happy for you all, just for, taking the time out of your day to listen to my crazy, unorthodox podcast every Friday, period, point blank. Yeah, you know. And that's just what it is. So, yeah, that's my mood. And I love you all. I really do. From the bottom of my heart, I truly do. And so, yeah, keep going in life, whatever it is. And, yeah, I hope you all can join me for my next podcast episode. But until then, bye.